Hello everyone, welcome again. There is no end for learning, isn't it? Yes, I have come up with another video today. In this video, I am going to discuss linkers with you. Linkers, linking expressions or linking words, we call them. There are plenty of linkers in English language. Before we discuss linkers, it is very important for us to understand the writing process. Since linkers are associated with a writing process or a writing skill, it is important for us to know what is writing or what is a writing skill. Okay, when you choose to write something, the first thing that you have in your mind is the content itself. Content is the first thing that comes to one's mind when you are writing. You need to have a topic on which you are going to write. For example, take a topic like soil. Soil is a topic or the content that you want to develop your ideas or write something on it. After choosing the content, the second step is the writing process itself. In this writing process, the first thing is that now you have to gather your ideas, organize your thoughts, make a draft. Oh, I want to add these points or these many things in my writing, just like that. So there will be a rough idea. In the process, you begin to gather or collect all your thoughts together and decide, how can I start this particular content? Where should I begin? Where should I begin with? Something like that. So after the process, the next important thing is that audience. Whom are you writing this particular passage? Who are the target audience? How you should organize your writing? Because you have a set or a particular audience in your mind. You have to reach them ultimately. You have to communicate your ideas ultimately. That is the reason why knowing your audience is so important. Based on that, we have to develop our paragraph. We have to choose words based on our audience. Suppose you are writing it to a primary or an elementary children, that you can't use the language that is suitable for a degree student. Just as simple as that. So knowing your audience is important. The next step is that organization. We have to organize our thoughts now. We have to organize our paragraph. We have to organize the topic, and we have to use the supporting materials for that in order to make a paragraph more meaningful or coherent. One idea links to another idea in that sense. You can't throw your ideas randomly. We have to be more coherent. Of course, the next thing is that syntax and grammar. What do I mean by syntax? The way in which the words are organized to make a meaningful sentence. There is a rule for every sentence to be formed. For example, you can say mango he eats. A mango he eats. It doesn't make any sense. You can't have this sentence structure in English. Eats he a mango, or you can say a mango. You can't have this sentence structure either. Then what should be, or what is the correct sentence structure? He eats a mango. This is what we call syntax. So we should have this knowledge of syntax and at the same time grammar, verbs, pronouns, subject-verb agreement, use of articles correctly, something like that. So when we write something, we must have the knowledge of all these things. Then only we can make a meaningful paragraph or write a meaningful paragraph or a piece of writing. This is the process that is involved in writing something. Today, I am focusing only on this aspect, organization of your ideas, presenting them in a logically correct or in a logical sequence in order to express our ideas. At the same time, we have to make them coherent, meaningful. One idea is linked to another. So this is very important. So in this organization, the main role that is played by linking words. First, I would like to take up simple sentences and analyze the use of linkers in those sentences. Thereafter, we will move on to take up a paragraph, analyze a paragraph or two to understand how linkers can be used effectively in order to make a more meaningful paragraph or more coherent paragraph. As I said, we will take up some simple sentences in the beginning. Later on, we move on to paragraphs. Paragraphs to see how linkers function in a paragraph. Okay, the first sentence. She spoke well and won the prize. Here, two ideas have been put together by using the conjunction or linking word and. If you split this sentence, she spoke well, she won the prize. Two ideas have been brought together. The function of and here is addition. It adds another idea to it or joins or links two ideas together. The second one, it was raining, so I stayed at home. It was raining is the reason why you stayed at home. I stayed at home is the result of the reason it was raining. So, here the linker or linking word so gives us reason or result, reason and result. Third one, although it was raining, I went for a walk. If you compare this with the second sentence here, you will see there is a contrast. Contrast in the sense, generally we don't go for a walk when it is raining. But you can see here, it was raining, I went for a walk. Although it was raining, I went for a walk suggests the contradicting ideas which have been put together here. So it talks about contrast. Although, if you want to compare them, we have many linkers that will help us to compare two ideas. She respected me more than I thought. She respected me more than I thought. The word than here suggests that there is a comparison. Let us look at another example here. He saved money so that he might build a house. The linking word so that suggests that there is a purpose for his action of saving money. He saved money. Why? The purpose is he might build a house. So you may now clearly understand or might have understood that so that is a linking word that can be used to express purposes. The last sentence, there are plenty of them. I'm taking up only a few here through these simple sentences. We will examine maximum linkers and their functions little later. Condition. If you want to express a condition, look at this interesting sentence. Unless you ask me, I can't teach you. Unless you ask me, I can't teach you. You ask me, then only I will teach you. So certain condition has to be fulfilled now. If I want to teach you, you have to fulfill a condition. That is, you have to ask me. So how to put it that in a sentence using linker? So you can use unless you ask me, I can't teach you. So you can make different uses in a different way. For example, it was raining, I stayed at home. So you can reverse this. You can bring the result first, reason later. I stayed at home because it was raining. I hope that is quite clear. Now, we will move on to examine some paragraphs, and those paragraphs will help us to understand linkers better. After looking at the sentences, this is the time for us to see the paragraphs. Let us see the first one. Fill in the blanks with appropriate linkers given in the brackets. The first one. Yusuf is a figure clouded in so much mystery and legend that it is difficult to know what can be said about him. What can be said about him? The first one, that, gives us reason. That is the reason why it is difficult to know what can be said about him. What here adds something to it. So the function of what, the linker here, is addition. It is also strange to believe that, once again, we are giving a reason. This world famous man was born a slave in the 6th century BC. When slaves were bought and sold frequently. With the use of when, we mentioned time. Aesop's Greek master gave him liberty because he was impressed by his learning and wit. Because here suggests the reason. Once again, the reason. I hope this much is clear about this particular paragraph. Let us look at the second paragraph. Alok was happy when he was selected to take part in the car race. Here, when suggests time. He gladly went where the race was to take place. Where suggests the place. He was given a car kit so that he could build the body of the car using small pieces of wood. So that here suggests the purpose to which the boy was given a kit. Alok asked Abhi if he could help him. If suggests or if refers to the condition. Abhi refused. However, Alok did not give up. However, H should be capital. However, Alok did not give up. What is the function of however here? You can call it a concession or a result. Though Abhi did not help him, Alok continued to work. He did not give up. So that kind of a concession or a result that suggests here, however, suggests here in this paragraph. I hope the second paragraph is also clear. Let us see one more. The rains had failed. Therefore, we have to choose the linkers from the brackets given below. Thus, so that, therefore, in order to. Remember, the rains had failed. Therefore, all the wells and tanks had run dry. In order to overcome the problem, the municipal authorities sunk a number of bore wells. The next one, so that they could supply water to the citizens. Last one, thus the situation was brought under control. Now, you might have now understood the functions of these linkers in this paragraph. First one, therefore, is a result. Therefore, the rains had failed. Therefore, the wells and tanks had run dry. The reason for the wells and tanks to run dry is lack of rains. The second one, in order to talks about the purpose. Municipal authorities sunk a number of bore wells. Why did they sink number of bore wells? The purpose is to overcome the problem. So in order to talks about the purpose. So that, once again, talks about the purpose. Thus, as a result of conclusion, thus, the situation was brought under control. I hope the concept is clear. There are plenty of examples, but it is enough for us to look for some that will give us a good idea about the use of linkers or the correct use of linkers. If you still have any doubt, write it in the comment box. I'll be glad to reply. I'll be glad to answer your questions. See you then in the next class.